Every second, millions of cells in your body divide. This is not dangerous. It is necessary. Cells divide to grow tissues, to heal wounds, to replace old and damaged cells. But division is also risky. If even one cell divides at the wrong time, with the wrong instructions, or without control, growth becomes dangerous. This is the story of the cell cycle and what happens when it breaks. This is the biology of cancer. Why cells must divide. Your body is not static. Skin cells are replaced every few weeks, blood cells every few days, cells in your gut even faster. Cell division keeps tissues alive. But division is not random. It is carefully scheduled, carefully checked, and carefully controlled. A healthy cell does not divide just because it can. It divides because it is told to. The cell cycle, an overview. The life of a dividing cell follows a cycle. First, the cell grows. It increases in size. It builds proteins and organelles. Then, it copies its DNA. Every chromosome is duplicated. Next, the cell checks its work. Is the DNA intact? Is the environment safe? Only then does the cell divide, splitting into two identical daughters. This repeating sequence is called the cell cycle. Growth, preparation, division. But hidden inside this cycle are powerful safety systems. Checkpoints, the guardians of division. Cells do not divide blindly. They stop at checkpoints. At these checkpoints, the cell asks questions. Is the DNA damaged? Are nutrients available? Are growth signals present? If the answer is no, the cycle stops. Repair mechanisms activate, or the cell waits. In extreme cases, the cell chooses to self-destruct. These checkpoints protect the organism from uncontrolled growth. They are the guardians of multicellular life. Growth signals, when to divide. Cells do not decide alone. They listen to their surroundings. Chemical growth factors bind to receptors. Internal signaling pathways turn on genes. Proteins push the cell forward through the cycle. Without these signals, most cells remain quiet. They rest. This dependence on external signals keeps tissues organized. Cells divide only when needed, and stop when the job is done. What is cancer, really? Cancer is not just fast growth. Cancer is growth without permission. It begins when mutations accumulate in genes that control the cell cycle. Some mutations activate growth signals permanently. Others disable checkpoints. Others block cell death. The cell no longer listens, no longer stops, no longer repairs. It divides again and again and again. Cancer is a failure of regulation. Oncogenes and tumor suppressors. Two types of genes control the cell cycle. Oncogenes push cells to divide. Tumor suppressor genes stop them. In healthy cells, these forces are balanced. In cancer, oncogenes get stuck in the on position. Tumor suppressors are lost or silenced. The brakes fail. The accelerator sticks. The cell cycle becomes uncontrolled. Genomic instability and evolution. As cancer cells divide, they make more mistakes. DNA damage accumulates. Chromosomes break and rearrange. This creates diversity within the tumor. Some cells grow faster. Some resist stress. Some survive treatment. Cancer evolves. That is why it is so difficult to cure. Why cancer is a disease of multicellular life. Single-celled organisms divide freely. They have no tissues to disrupt, no neighbors to harm. Cancer exists only in multicellular organisms because it breaks cooperation. Cancer cells stop contributing and start exploiting. They consume resources. They invade tissues. They ignore boundaries. Cancer is not foreign. It is distorted self. Modern therapies, targeting the cell cycle. Many cancer therapies target dividing cells. Some damage DNA. Some block replication. Some restore checkpoint control. New therapies aim to be more precise, targeting specific mutations and specific pathways. Understanding the cell cycle is the foundation of cancer treatment. Closing, the big picture. The cell cycle made complex life possible. It allowed specialization, organization, repair. Cancer is not a mistake of evolution. It is a cost of complexity. By understanding how cells grow, we understand how growth fails. And by understanding failure, we learn how to restore balance. This is not just the biology of cancer. It is the biology of control. Please subscribe to keep an eye on the next video, where we will explore why cancer is so hard to cure.